Today is February 22nd. It's the 53rd day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. If you've been listening since the very first day, some of this may sound a little familiar to you. If you've joined after that, it'll all be new. Either way, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Brand spanking new episodes coming very soon. A couple of days ago, we talked about Robert Preston, who stole a helicopter from Fort Meade. Preston was apparently trying to demonstrate his exceptional flying skills, but authorities thought he was trying to crash into the White House. That was 1974, and the news reports in the days following that bizarre happening may have motivated a fellow named Samuel Byck to do the same. He's had the idea for a while now, but the news about Preston may have been the jumpstart he needed. Except Byck doesn't just want to demonstrate some talent he possesses. He actually wants to assassinate President Nixon. And he determines that the most efficient and effective means at his disposal is to hijack a plane and crash it into the White House. Samuel Byck is not only unemployed, suffering from depression, and angry at President Nixon after being denied a Small Business Administration loan. Byck is also insane. As he prepares what he calls Operation Pandora's Box, he outlines his plan on tape recordings he makes and sends to the Washington Post, to Dr. Jonas Salk, and composer Leonard Bernstein, just a few hours before he heads to the airport in Baltimore, on this day, in 1974. To pull off the hijacking, Byck needs a gun. The problem is he's known to the Secret Service. He's made threats to President Nixon in the past, and he was protesting out front of the White House just this past Christmas, dressed as Santa Claus. So if he tries to buy a gun, they'll probably start taking a closer look at him. So he steals a handgun from a friend, and he packs a suitcase with 2 gallons of gasoline and a crude ignition device. With his luggage bomb in hand, Byck walks into the airport, shoots an airport police officer, and rushes onto a Delta Airlines DC-9, the next plane set to take off. Remember, this is 1974. Airport security is nothing like it is these days. Once on board the plane, Byck orders the pilots to take off, but they tell him they can't until the wheel blocks are removed. So he shoots them both, grabs the closest passenger, and orders her to fly the plane. In a matter of minutes, his plan has gone horribly awry, and the police are right outside the door. After a brief standoff, and after threats to blow up the plane with his gasoline suitcase, Samuel Byck takes his own life. The plane never leaves the gate, and 35 miles away, President Nixon goes about his workday in the West Wing, unaware for the time being of Samuel Byck's failed attempt to assassinate him on this day in 1974. In February of 1980, the world's attention is turned to Lake Placid, New York, and the Winter Olympics. It's a very good year for Team USA on the ice. Eric Heiden wins 5 gold medals in speed skating, setting Olympic records in 4 events and a world record in the 10,000-meter event. His achievements that year alone are the stuff of legends. But it's the United States men's ice hockey team that captures the hearts of Americans. And amazingly, not because they win the gold medal against Finland in the final round, but because of the game they play on this day in 1980 that becomes known as the Miracle on Ice. The underdog of underdogs, the USA team is a group of amateurs and college kids led by Coach Herb Brooks. And on this day, they're going up against the odds-on favorite to win, the Soviet Union, a team that has won the last 4 Olympic golds in a row and is expected to make 1980 their 6th out of the last 7 golds. The last time they lost a final round game was in 1960 to the United States. In 1980, the Soviets clobber the Americans in exhibition play 10-3 and dominate first-round gameplay, crushing their opponents 16-0 over Japan, 17-4 Netherlands, 8-1 over Poland, and they beat the Canadians, an all-star team of NHL players. In 1980, Team USA isn't even supposed to be in the finals. They aren't expected to get out of the first round. But with 4 wins and 1 tie, they find themselves in Olympic Fieldhouse, getting ready to take the ice on this day. Coach Brooks gives the team a pep talk. He's scrawled it on the back of an envelope. He tells them, quote, "You were born to be a player. You were meant to be here at this moment. You were meant to be here at this game. The moment is yours." Brooks is absolutely right. The game is on tape delay in America, but most people think they're watching live as USA comes back from a 2-1 deficit in the first period to tie it up 2-2 by the first intermission, Mark Johnson scoring in the last second of the period. At the beginning of the second period, the Soviets swap out goalies, sending in backup goalie Vladimir Mishkin, a move that coach Viktor Tikhonov will later recall as, quote, "the biggest mistake of my career." By the end of the second, the Soviets are up 3-2. But 8 minutes into the third period, Mark Johnson puts the puck in the net again, tying up the game. Halfway through the third period, team captain Mike Eruzione takes a shot 20 feet out from the net and scores. It is the winning goal, but for 10 more anxiety and panic-filled minutes, Team USA fends off the Soviets. Coach Brooks yelling at them, "Play your game," in a fruitless attempt to calm his players. Goalie Jim Craig frantically deflecting the Soviets' relentless and wild shots, until the buzzer sounds and USA has won against all odds, beating the USSR 4-3.
Morrow, up to Schultz, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Born on this day in 1918, Dominic George Pardo, better known as Don Pardo, and even better known as the voice of Saturday Night Live. Don Pardo is born in Westfield, Massachusetts. He attends Emerson College, and in 1938 takes a job at a radio station in Providence, Rhode Island. In 1944, he takes a job at NBC as the in-house announcer, first in radio, and soon thereafter on the NBC television network as it's just getting up and running. He develops his signature elongated delivery while announcing The Price is Right in 1956, enthusiastically drawing out the descriptions of products contestants are going to bid on as the camera pans across them. Later in 1963, he's the first to tell NBC viewers of a tragedy unfolding in Dallas on a sunny November afternoon.
In downtown Dallas, President Kennedy was shot today just as his motorcade left downtown Dallas. Mrs. Kennedy jumped up and grabbed Mr. Kennedy. She cried, "Oh no." The motorcade sped on. A photographer said he saw blood on the president's head. It was believed 2 shots were fired. Keep tuned to your NBC station for the later news.
In the 60s and 70s, he's the voice of Jeopardy, hosted by Art Fleming. And in 1975, he's hired by Lorne Michaels for a new late-night sketch comedy show he's created.
It's Saturday Night Live, the 25th anniversary.
For many of the not ready for primetime players, hearing Don Pardo announce their names at the top of Saturday Night Live means they've made it. In later years, Don Pardo, born on this day in 1918, records the SNL show opens from his home in Tucson, Arizona, where he passes away in 2014 at the age of 96. After 38 seasons, over 39 years of Saturday Night Live, and 60 years as the voice of NBC. There are 313 days left in the year.